Hello friends, I hope you all are safe staying at your homes. A nationwide lockdown was started in the country from 25th March 2020, and from 18th May we have entered the fourth phase of a nationwide lockdown with certain relaxations in containment zones across the country. This phase of lockdown will continue till 31st May, and we all hope that till the time this lockdown ends the situation becomes better in a controllable state, at least in major parts of the country. During the initial days of lockdown, government has announced an economic package of rupees 1.7 lakh crores to target basic requirements of poor and vulnerable section of the society. Further in this regard, in order to address other sectors of the economy like MSME, agriculture, corporates, etc., a mega package of rupees 20 lakh crore was announced on 12th May by our Honorable Prime Minister, and the same was elaborated by the Finance Minister for 5 consecutive days starting from 13th May 2020. Some of the key announcements made by the Finance Minister in this mega package was regarding collateral free loan to MSME sector, schemes to eliminate middlemen in the agricultural sector, top to total schemes, and amendments in Essential Commodities Act. I am CA Purnima Nagpal, partner of Nagpal and Nagpal Chartered Accountants. In this video, we are going to discuss about various relaxations given by the Government of India till date as a result of COVID-19 epidemic, specifically with regard to the compliances of Income Tax Act 1961. This video I have tried to summarize all the relief measures announced by the Finance Minister till date with regard to ease in income tax compliances. For the purpose of making the presentation more effective and more understandable, I have divided the presentation into two parts. First is regarding the announcements being made by the Finance Minister in May itself, that is very recent. As per an amendment brought in through Second Finance Act 2019, a new section 269 SU was introduced, as per which those businesses whose turnover is in excess of 50 crore in the immediately preceding financial year, they have to make arrangement for its customer to make payments through prescribed electronic modes. Further, through another notification issued somewhere around in December 2019, these modes have been prescribed as debit card powered by RuPay, Bhim UPI, and Bhim UPI QR code. In a recent circular which has been issued today, CBDT has clarified that the requirement for provision of payment facility is applicable in case of B2C business, that is business to consumer businesses, and not for the businesses who are having only B2B transactions, as they generally receive large payments through other electronic means such as RTGS and NEFT, and it is not possible for such B2B concerns to use these prescribed electronic means due to maximum capping on daily transaction limit per day. However, there is a condition attached to this relaxation which needs to be kept in mind, that for such B2B businesses, at least 95% of aggregate of all amounts received during the previous year, including the amount received for sales, turnover, or gross receipts, are by any mode other than cash. So you have to be very careful that 95% of all the amount received during the previous year are by any mode other than cash. It cannot be cash. So this relaxation has been done basically to remove the inconvenience, administrative inconvenience being represented by the business concerns. So let us start with TDS related change. This measure actually has been brought in by the finance minister to improve the liquidity position in the hands of taxpayers. And CBDT, via a press release dated 13th May, has reduced the TDS rates for all the non-salaried payments made to the residents, and for certain specified transactions, TCS rates also has been reduced to the extent of 25%. And this is worth noting that this reduction shall become applicable from 14th, the next day of the notification itself, and this will continue till the all the financial year 2020-21. And but one thing which is certainly worth noting here is that the higher rates which are applicable due to non-furnishing of PAN or Aadhaar would remain intact, and that will not be impacted. So that in case a person is not having a PAN or Aadhaar card, so in that case the
higher rate of taxation, that is 20%, would be applicable irrespective of this benefit given to the assessees. And this TDS rate deduction would apply for all the general payments like contract, professional fees, interest, rent, dividend, commission, etc. But it is not for the purpose of salary payments, because in case of salary, you all are aware that we use average rate of tax sort of thing, and we cannot make a payment, we cannot deduct TDS on a specified rate. So that is the reason for that. So moving on towards the recent relief measures announced by the finance minister, due date of all the income tax returns for the financial year 1920, whose the earlier due date was 31st of July, it has been extended to 30th November, and a considerable time has been given to the assessees to file the return as a result of COVID. And also for the tax audit assessees whose due date was earlier 30th September, it has been extended to 31st October. So one can notice that the time limit which has been given to an individual assessee is even more than that of the tax audit assessees. So, but this is the position. This is the position till date, that the individual assessees have been given a more time period to file their returns. And also the date of assessment which are getting time barred on 30th September, the date has been extended to 31st of December to get those assessments done by the assessing officers. And those who are which with the assessments which are getting time barred on 31st March 2021, so this is quite an advance relief has been given to the department, so that any assessment which is getting time barred on 31st March 2021, the time limit for that will also be extended to 30th September 2021. And further, the favorite scheme which is also getting the popularity in these days, Vivad Se Vishwas scheme 2020, the time limit which was earlier 30th June to avail the scheme without paying any additional tax, the time limit to avail this scheme has also been extended till 31st December, so that maximum number of assessees can get the benefit from this scheme. So in order to improve the liquidity position of charitable trust and small assessees, non-cooperative assessees and professionals, it has been announced by the finance minister in her latest announcement that the refunds, income tax refunds for these assessees, these types of assessees shall be issued on immediate basis. So that their liquidity in their hands could increase a bit. And also regarding the re-registration procedure which has been prescribed in the Finance Act 2020, the time limit earlier was regarding this was 1st of June, so that the entities has earlier the entities have to apply for re-registration till 30th of 31st of August, that is within the 3 months period. But now in order to give them a relief, this time limit have been increased till 1st of October, and now they can apply for re-registration till 31st of December 2020, that will within a 3 month period from 1st of October. And also in a very detailed circular issued by CBDT, it has been clarified that the time period which the non-resident assessees, which are generally and normally non-resident assessees, the time period of their stay in India, which is purely because of the lockdown reasons, of COVID lockdown reasons, would not be considered as a period of stay in India, and they'll not be considered as resident because of that period of stay in India. So that is also a big relief for the non-resident who are stuck up in India because of the COVID lockdown. And lastly, regarding the GST and GAR, there was a requirement with regard to disclosure in the tax audit form uh, for disclosing the aspects and transactions entered into in compliance or non-compliance of GAR and GST. But this requirement has also been deferred with, not dispensed of, deferred till 31st March, that is by one more year. And for this year, there is no requirement of disclosure regarding GAR in the tax audit forms. Now let's have a quick look regarding the reliefs announced earlier by the finance minister as a result of COVID epidemic. As per the CBDT press release dated 19th April 2020, it was expected that the new forms for return filing for the year ended 31st March 2020 would be notified by April end, as certain changes were being done in the said forms in view of the timeline extension being given by the CBDT, like ATG deduction, ATC and all. And it was also expected that a return filing utility would be made available by 31st of May. However, till date, no forms have been notified by the CBDT in this regard. And also, as per the a press release by Ministry of Finance, in order to grant immediate relief to small businesses, including MSME, Government of India has decided to issue all pending income tax refunds up to 5 lakh, and as an effect, government has actually granted the refunds of approx 14 lakh taxpayers of rupees 18,000 crores to the SSCs. And further regarding enhanced TDS rates, as per a CBDT circular, enhanced TDS rates due to increase in surcharge rates as introduced by Second Finance Act 2019, this amendment will not impact the transaction completed before 5th of July 2019. That this is the date on which such amendment was tabled in the Lok Sabha. And also in a case of those transactions wherein TDS has been deducted and deposited in government account, and the return in respect of the same has also been furnished with the income tax department, in that case also old rates shall apply for financial year 1920. However, in case the above conditions are not fulfilled, even in that case of collection of TDS or TCS as shortfall of taxes, no interest shall apply. So this is a relief for the taxpayers on whom the increased rate of TDS shall apply. And for the SECs who want to avail the new scheme under Section 115 BAC, they have to give the declaration to their employers in advance, but this declaration would not be considered as the same declaration towards the income tax department for the purpose of availing this Section 1115 BAC. That means one has to declare regarding this to the department while filing his return of income under Section 139(1). And in case an assessee wants to change his option at the time of return filing from old to new or vice versa, he is very well allowed to do so. Now let us talk about few relaxations which have been given earlier by the finance minister. That it should be noted by the taxpayers very carefully that the income tax return for the financial year 18-19, the due date which have actually expired on 31st of March, it has been extended till 30th of June 2020, and the same has not been extended. So in case a person wants to file a revised or original return for the financial year 18-19, the time limit is 30th June and not 30th November or any other date. And regarding Aadhaar PAN linking, the same announcement will prevail as 31st March 2020 was the original date. Now this has been extended till 30th of June. And regarding Vivad Se Vishwas Scheme 2020, I have discussed above also that this date, which was earlier 30th June, now has been extended till 31st December 2020. But in this regard, one must notice that recent FAQs have been released by the department dated 22nd April. So anyone who wants to discuss this, read this scheme in detail, they may refer to the FAQs on the CBDT portal itself. And regarding Section 10AA, manufacture or provision of services, where the manufacture or production of articles or things or provision of any service as referred to in Section 10AA is required to be issued by the in provision of CES Act. The earlier time limit was 31st March 2020, and this has also been extended till 30th June in this regard. And regarding the Form 15G and H, in order to mitigate the hardships of small taxpayers, Government of India has come up with a relief that if a person had submitted valid forms 15G and H to the banks or other institutions for the financial year ending 31st March 2020, then these forms would be valid up to 30th June in respect of financial year 2021 also. So this will actually safeguard the SSCs who have no tax liability for the year. But it should be noted that those payers who have actually not deducted TDS on the payments being made to the SSCs, they have to report the same in the TDS statement for the quarter ended 30th June to the department, so that at least the department may get the information regarding those amounts. And regarding the benefits of lower or nil deduction certificates under Section 195, 197 and 2060, let's move on to next slides and discuss in detail there. In order to understand the benefit of lower reduction certificates in a better way, we can consider these three scenarios. In scenario one, all assessees who have filed application for lower or nil reduction of TDS or TCS for financial year 2021 and whose applications are pending for disposal as on date, and they have been issued such certificate for the previous year, that is for financial year 1920, then such certificates would be applicable till 30th June 2020 of this financial year 2021 also, or disposal of their application by the assessing officer, whichever is earlier. So in case where an application has already been filed for financial year 1920, a direction has been issued to the officers to respond by 27th April via email, of course. This certificate shall be applicable for the amounts credited or debited during the financial year 1920 after the date of making application, but remained unpaid or not received till the date of issuance of the certificate by the assessing officer. As per scenario 2, where the assessees could not apply for issue of lower or nil reduction certificate for the financial year 2021, but were having the certificate for the previous year, that is financial year 1920, then such certificate will be applicable till 30th June of this financial year 2021 also. However, they need to apply at the earliest as soon as the normalcy is restored, or 30th June 2020, whichever is earlier. In the last possible scenario where the assessee has not applied for issue of lower or nil reduction certificate, and he is not having any such certificate for the previous financial year also, an email has to be sent to the concerned assessing officer with the requisite particulars, and the certificate or the rejection order, whatever, would be issued online by the department only. And it has also been cleared by way of a separate clarification that change of TAN and revision in rates of TDS from the certificate issued in the previous financial year, that would be considered as a fresh case, and the procedure as mentioned for a fresh case would be applicable accordingly. And also the threshold limit or the transaction amount would be considered afresh for financial year 2021 on the basis of financial year 1920 certificate. So regarding other relaxation for interest on delayed payment of taxes, uh, the rate for delayed payment of advance tax is 1% per month, so that brings out to 12% per annum. And for delay in deposit of taxes (TDS) and is 1.5% per month, and that is 18% per annum after the due date for the period from 20th March 2020 to 29th June. So this rate, a slight relaxation has been given in this respect, and the rate has been reduced to 0.75% per month if the deposits have been made up to 30th of June. So this is the time limit which has to be kept in mind. So you have to deposit all your TDS and advance tax installments by 30th of June. So you will get a benefit of interest reduction only. And regarding the due date for issue of notices, intimation, approval order, sanction, etc., where the time limit is expiring between 20th March 2020 to 29th June, the 30th June will be the date, and a relaxation has been given in this respect also. For time limit for completion of proceedings by any authority, any compliances by the taxpayer under income tax law, Benami law, Wealth Tax Act, STT law, etc., and the investment for rollover benefits of capital gain also, where the time limit is expiring between 20th March 2020 to 29th June. Relaxation has been given as a result of COVID, and 30th June is now the last date for the taking the benefits of that scheme. So, so that's all for today's presentation. Thank you so much for watching.